Hey guys, welcome to Belgian Hikers. We are doing a 3-day, 75-kilometer trail in the province of Luxemburg. It's a trail that promises to take us deep into the woods and onto some beautiful plateaus. Now, I gotta say, we planned this trip a while ago, and looking at the weather, smart money seems to be on us getting pretty soaked. But we are definitely looking forward to the hike, and you never know, we might just get lucky. The trail that we've chosen for this weekend is a variation on the Eislek trail, which itself is part of the Roche-en-Ardenne trail. So if you've ever walked either of those, you'll come across some familiar sights. It's important to know that this is an unmarked trail, so you'll have to rely on your map reading skills. Luckily, we had a couple of expert map readers along, even though they did not always agree. We also took advantage of one of the big upsides of navigating with maps. It's a lot easier to get creative and change things up. So instead of doing the whole trail, we cut off a couple of kilometers to get off paved roads and into the woods. The name of the trail, les profondeurs de la forêt, may promise deep forests, but it's really more of a kid's pool than a deep dive. We'd guess that you spend a little over a third of the time in the woods and about a quarter of the time on paved roads. The woods that you do cross are nice and varied though, so no complaints there. Halfway into our first day of hiking, we had some ominous looking clouds coming our way. We did get wet, but we managed to escape the worst of the downpour. When we got to the first campsite, the nicest spots in the rain shelter were taken by car campers, but the campsite was recently enlarged by cutting down some of the trees near the river, so there's room for quite a few tents. There's fresh water and a small shelter, but other than that it is a pretty bare bones campsite, so don't expect any latrines or other luxuries. We'd managed to escape the worst of the rain during the day, but of course that could not last. We managed to get a fire going thanks to Alex's excellent fire building skills, only to have it rain out. I managed to heat the water for my freeze-dried dinner only halfway when the rain got too bad, so I rushed inside and managed to spill some of it right into my trail shoes. Ah, the joys of camping.
Laten weten wat dat is, man.
Though you cover about 1,500 meters of vertical distance, this is not what you'd call a technically challenging trail. If you can comfortably hike 25 to 30 kilometers a day, you'll probably be fine. This is not a trail for those aching to get away from civilization. You pass quite a few villages along the way, though hardly any shops. This butchery and lavacherie was about the only one that we encountered. Weaving in and out of villages makes it fairly easy to stock up on water, so you don't have to rely as much on filtering and on carrying lots of water in your backpack. The villages in the Ardennes can sometimes feel a bit like ghost towns, but the animals are out in numbers. We noticed quite a few traces of beavers, some Canadian geese and the occasional mosquito, but mostly cows. Many, many, many cows. Despite the rainy weather, we had no problems with muddy trails. Wherever the ground gets a bit marshy, there are wooden walkways that are either recent or well maintained. second campsite was located in Givre, quite a bit closer to the town than these bivouacs usually are. It's pretty basic, but the surroundings are quite nice, and the fireplace is well laid out. This time, we got ourselves a nice little hailstorm. On the third day, we covered the part of the trail that overlaps with the Eislek trail. And you can easily tell that this part that follows the Urte River is a real crowd pleaser. In 15 minutes, we encountered as many people as we had seen the first 2 days combined. The path next to the river is a lot more adventurous too. Just be warned that when you finally leave the valley to go up to the hill towards Nadrin, you're in for a steep couple hundred meters. These last couple of hours, the sun came out and even managed to give us a bit of a sunburn. 4 seasons in 3 days, and most certainly a trail to remember.